What do you wish more people understood? If I invite you to something and you can't make it, or don't want to go, just say so. I'd rather of you say, I don't think I'll be able to make it. Thanks though, right out the gate, than say, yeah, I might be able to. I'll let you know, and then just not show up. Getting an invitation turned down right away hurts a little, but I'm an adult and I'll get over that. But making plans and thinking people will be there and having them not actually show up is really hurtful, and that takes way longer to get over. How to manage finances correctly and the consequences of debt. How to drive. I've said this before, but as a teacher I wish parents understood that statistically speaking, most kids are not above average, and that's totally fine. The insane pressure that kids are under to be exceptional in every subject and activity is insane. Control-SHFTT will bring back all your tabs if you accidentally close your browser. Wake up, people. Just because I am tall does not mean I am good at basketball. I was a lanky, awkward teen with no athletic abilities. Tell me again how you would have been an NBA player if you were blessed with my height. Apologizing isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. We judge ourselves by our intentions and we judge others by their actions. Empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. There are no ninjas or samurais in Japan now. I wish more people could understand that there is not a single person who chose which family, ethnicity, country, community they were born into. Why would you treat someone different and punish them over something they have absolutely zero control over? That the media can and will lie or deliberately choose misleading wording to make people view a situation differently. They have their own agendas. Not every young person is lazy and whiny. Not every old person is as grumpy and rude to young people. Not every Democrat is a lazy socialist SJW. Not every Republican is a homophobic sexist bigot. Not every straight person is homophobic. Not every LGBT person thinks LGBT is their only personality trait. Not every Muslim is a terrorist. Not every Christian is biased on religion, sex, race, and sexuality. Not every person is their stereotype. There's a minority in every group that ruins it for the rest of us. You are not so OCD just because you like things to be organized, or prefer everything to match. OCD is not cute or quirky. It is a serious and very difficult diagnosis to live with that takes years of therapy to even begin to understand, and requires daily effort to fight against. Pianos should be tuned at least once per year, even if they're not played. If the instrument goes too long without being tuned, the strings may become brittle and inflexible for tuning. Likewise, the tuning pins in the pin block can become resistant to tuning adjustments and not hold the pins reliably in place. This one is super specific. I work at a psych hospital, and the other day I was working with the kids, teens, and this girl got on the phone with her mom, and her mom started lighting into her about how much of a burden she was in, making rude comments about her body. If she was an unhealthy weight, then she was too thin. The patient had an eating disorder, conduct issues, and depression with suicidal ideation. I wanted to tell her so badly that so many of her problems would go away if not get better as soon as she got out of that house. All she needed to focus on was not perpetuating the cycle. Instead, the absolute most I can say is, it gets better, and mention it to her therapist who will hopefully bring it up in family therapy. TL. Doctor, it's okay to cut toxic people out of your life for your own mental health. I wish more kids knew that that would be an option as they got older. Love just doesn't go away. I'm so tired of people telling me to get over it because he hurt me and I deserve better. Yes, I'm trying to move on, but it doesn't just magically happen. How to understand people are allowed to have opinions. People act like believing something else is an unforgivable crime. This doesn't mean you're not free from scrutiny. It just means you are allowed to think it no matter what, so long as you behave respectfully. Disability does not have to be visible. There are enough disabilities you would never see or guess that the person has one. Being on time is as much for yourself as other people. Asexuality. It's such a small community, and even some of the LGBT community hates us. That vaccines fucking work and the earth isn't flat. That calling someone a Nazi, fascist, or a cuck isn't an argument. If she is going to make fun of you for verbally asking for consent, she is not mature enough for you to be putting your dick in. How to not be wasteful. Food, gas, other people's time, etc. Furthermore, wasting money only makes the rich richer. Driving isn't a race. Even if you are in the fast lane, going 20 over, and passing a bunch of people, you still aren't going to get to your destination that much faster. At least not a significant amount of time at all. Moreover, if the amount of time you made up by driving like a crazed asshole actually does matter, that means that you should have gotten up a little bit earlier. If you can't get up 10 minutes earlier so that you can get to work in a reasonable amount of time, you probably shouldn't be driving anyway, because you're clearly a child. Basics of scientific method and why we should believe climate scientists. Spatial awareness. You're in the way. Excuse you. I don't know why I always say excuse me to get around these people. We should start saying excuse you. That having social anxiety doesn't mean I'm shy. Oh, social anxiety? No worries. I'll introduce you to everyone. Hey, everyone. This is Peace _ Oblivion. She's anxious around people, so everyone say hello. Quote. Not everyone can read your mind. If you want something, ask for it. Maybe it sounds a bit silly and childish, but I think memes, most of people don't understand them or just don't know theme is here. No means no. You were asked if you wanted anything to eat, and you said no. So food on my plate is off limits. Basic U.S. history and the fact that millions died to have the rights we shit on today. My politeness and kindness don't mean that you can treat me like a second-class citizen. That I don't eat dog. That having a micro-penis really ain't that bad. We can all be loved despite our differences. The Voynich manuscript. That modern politicians act to keep you concerned until the next election. That way they can have a reason for you to vote for them so they can keep their job. The media is complicit in the scheme because keeping you concerned increases their viewership. As an accountant, I wish people understood that getting a big tax refund is not a good thing. It's your own money that you loaned to the government for an entire year and received 0% interest on the loan you made. So many people seem to think that tax refunds are free money from the government, and trying to convince them otherwise can be like talking to a brick wall. The fact that opinions aren't facts. I believe that when everybody understands this, world peace will be achieved. The left lane is for passing only. Consuming a product is not a personality. So when I say something sucks, you don't have to defend it like you chair the board. The signs that someone is about to commit suicide. Mathematics and statistics. People always act like being bad at even just arithmetic is okay when it shouldn't be. Even worse, they think that's all math is and is a mathematic, and it's really annoying to hear that a million times over. And statistics, just so people can finally see through so much of the data manipulation present in the world. Lies. Damn lies. And statistics and all that. Each other. There's nothing wrong with me, I just don't feel like talking. That a resting bitch face doesn't mean that the person is pissed off or annoyed. that they don't have to stand directly in front of the luggage carousel at the airport. Vaccinating your children won't make them autistic. The whole myth started based on a study that was proven to be flawed. Yet people are still buying into it. And we're having to deal with diseases that had once been eradicated. To teachers, we, students, have more than your classes to visit and pay attention to. Giving us more homework so we can focus more on the subject does exactly the opposite. Also, don't think that after years of studying I remember everything I've been told to read. You could have taught and learned that stuff for decades, but don't expect me to remember what I've been taught 2 years ago or 1 summer ago. That Greta girl is saying is actually true. I think empathy and common sense would be a good start. That it is often better to live preparing for the worst than to live ignorantly believing that the best is the likeliest outcome. Me. The road rules. That no is an acceptable response. I don't need some excuse or reason. Just say no and move on with your life. Heuristics. Even with read a couple of books. Basic understanding. Knowing our thoughts and opinions are innately flawed and established prior to presenting as conscious has been a great asset. Great for separating ideas, opinions from emotional response, and allows a greater willingness to accept new perspectives while making it easier to accept when you are proven wrong. Basic math and geography. That those makes who suffer from depression are not weak. It's not a phase, Mom. That denying controlled substances to substance users only creates more issues in the long run. Reasonable access to medication should be a human right, but doctors are often prejudiced when it comes to substance users and act maliciously to the point where people just give up on mental health care in general because of the stigma. Climate change. Medical knowledge is ever-changing and growing, and people should not distrust science completely over a few mistakes. Nothing is perfect, including science, but that doesn't mean people should stop getting vaccinated, eating healthy, etc. Depression. That being a conspiracy theorist does not mean you're batshit crazy. Also, blinkers. That the news is poison. I am an abuse victimist here. I suffer every single day. I have no access to professional help, and I'm left on my own. I have been fighting my own inner wars since I was 10. Life is really hard, and I have a lot of feelings. If I say something, please don't leave me. Just talk to me. I usually don't mean what I say. Life is a journey, not a race. Death. Humility.